Alright, so I just noticed I had the audio off on that first, when I was describing the pilots, which is not going to be good. But, I got some green stuff on the inside of the cockpit. We'll have to clean that out. But, here's my finished product. So, when I was describing what I was doing before on the stuff where the audio was not on, well, I just put tape on here just for this reason. So now I can take this tape off. I got some green stuff from the pilots where I belt sanded them, but I just used tape on here because I figured if I ever have to take it off, I didn't want it glued, you know. So now we can just take this off, and there's some green stuff in the cockpit, but so I'll show you what I did. Now, particularly for the back cockpit. So I'm really sorry I forgot the audio on that. That sucks. But all I did was I took off the bottom of the pilot, and I have my belt sander right here, and I just put them like that, and I just moved them into the belt sander, kind of like if the edge of the camera there was the belt sander. I just did that. And I shaved off about a 1/4 inch. Not so much the front cockpit. The back cockpit is the one that really needs it. But if you see it, you know, when you put them in, they really look good. I mean, they look like they're supposed to be. It's pretty much perfect. So there's my finished pilots. And I think they look great, man. I think they look super good. There's my pilots. I think you can see them pretty good. My lighting is a little off here, but oh, there we go. So that's my finished product, the pilots in the L39. And
so here I'm
stay tuned for the rest of the build.
And I noticed, so I have my servo tester right here. So that's centered. So the first thing I'm going to do, you'll notice that that is not 90 degrees. Well, it's coming out a little bit because I took the screws out, but even if you do that, it's not 90 degrees to the surface. I can tell right away. So what I'm going to do is I took these screws out, and now I'm going to take that arm off and center it. You can even see how off it is. So I'm going to take that arm off and center it. Once we get all of those done, I'm going to install the linkages. So I'll show you how I do that. But that, all you do is take that, there's 4 little screws in the cover, and you take those 4 screws off, and the servo comes out. And then I'm just going to take that arm off and center it better.
Okay,
so stay tuned.
Here's what I used to install the flaps. The screw would not fit through the flap, so I used this drill with these bits. See if I can show it here. Okay, so I used the 1.8. If it stays in focus, there we go. So I used the 1.8 millimeter, and it made it perfectly sized for the flap. And then I also used a micrometer when putting all the other linkages on. So I just used this guy, just kind of got it out, you know, measured them up, and they came out really well. I'm going to start putting my receiver in. I'm going to clean all this up. But remember, you're going to have to drill that hole for the flap on the flap side, not the servo on the flap side. I took this out. I didn't like it, and I'll show you what I did there in a minute. I took carbon fiber, and I just made a template. I have my carbon fiber, and I just put this over, you know, right here, and made a template. And I'll show you what I got here. I also am not using the Asan brake gyro. It's just not working the right way. So you can see in here, hopefully you can see anyway, there's that carbon fiber plate that I made, and it came out pretty good. Hopefully you can see that, and that's going to be my, that's where I'm going to put all my electronics.
the engine over here. Obviously not that big a deal to mount. I'm going to drill some holes and mount that. I really haven't done anything different than the instructions yet, aside from the carbon fiber plate. I mean, I'm going to keep this around. Also, I'm sort of disappointed this AD63. I put this in, had everything hooked up, everything is working, but the brakes wouldn't work. And I could, you know, when I was doing, I know I did the adjustment right, and I know that all that stuff was right. So it's a little disappointing because I wanted to use it. But what I'm doing now is I'm just gonna couple the nose wheel and the rudder together. And I'll have a gyro on that. I don't know that I need nose wheel steering gyro on this anyway. So I'll keep you posted if I run into anything. All the connections are made just like the directions so far. I didn't have to do anything other than